Hello, welcome to lift class. Today you're going to need a variety of dumbbells out. So normally I tell you lift really heavy. Today I'm actually going to tell you to go moderate because we are going to be doing 50 seconds, that's 50 seconds of lifting. So it's nearly a minute of lifting, of resistance. So I would normally say like push heavy, but in a minute you're going to get a lot of reps in. So when we have a higher rep count, we can decrease the amount of weight that we are lifting. So through our exercises today, you're just going to have to make a quick gauge. We're going to work the full body. So I would say when we're doing upper body, go moderate to light. And when we're doing lower body, feel free to go heavier through our movements because as we head into lower body, we know we can push more weights. So for example, our first exercise after we warm up is going to be a shoulder press. So when you go to do shoulder presses for 1 minute, normally I would say, pick a good weight because if you're using the bulk of our shoulders, the top parts, to push, but because it's a minute, maybe lighten up a little bit. So you'll see me lighten up for sure today and just kind of take the weights that I think are appropriate for that length of time. So just a heads up to you on that one today. I did say we were doing full body, so we will be doing sets standing, we'll be doing sets on the floor, we will be doing upper body and lower body, and we will be repeating all of our exercises 3 times through today, okay? So we're going to get a lot of volume, a lot of work done. I'm going to go ahead and begin our timer and for the warm-up, and all you need are your weights out, a clear space. I put a mat out. Like I said, we'll be coming to the ground, so if you want to use a mat, you're welcome to. If not, that's fine too. So I really just took out my 5s to 10s today. So if you have 5, 8s, and 10s, so if you have a set of weights about in that range, maybe 3s and maybe 12s or 15s, you're welcome to kind of stay within that range today for all of our exercises. I will take you through all of it. There's nothing new. Let me just make sure. It's all going to be pretty straightforward and basic moves that we've done before. All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin with the warm-up. Hopefully you have all of your stuff out. Take the couple seconds now. 2, that's really loud, that's okay. All right, we're gonna leave it really loud. 2, make sure that weights are out. Set your watches or trackers if you are tracking, and we will go ahead and begin. So we're gonna warm up the whole body, really focusing on retraction of our shoulders, so draw your shoulders down and back. Sometimes when you hear people say, put your shoulder blades in your back pocket, so draw back like that, okay? We're gonna start with a squat. And rise up, open your chest. Squat, rise up, open your chest. Sink down and back, toes are forward, tailbone comes back like you're sitting into a chair. Your chest is lifted the entire time, always when we do squats. If you'd like to be playing your own music right now, run over, play some music. Otherwise, it's going to be really quiet, and you're going to be listening to me breathe. Squat, open your chest, squat, open your chest. Our next warm-up is going to be a reverse lunge, so take a lunge back, find your balance, step up, and a diagonal chest hug. Other leg comes back. Diagonal, open your chest, give yourself a hug. Step back, open up, hug. So a little bit of lower body and a little bit more of your upper body, reaching it open, rounding out your spine, rounding out your shoulder blades. I'm struggling to find my balance today. I'm gonna get there. It'll happen. And then we're gonna come down to the ground. We're doing a tabletop push-up, so that means that we're going to come onto all 4s and do a push-up. Nothing crazy. All 4s, chest to the ground, push back up, okay? Chest to the ground, push back up. If you'd like to come out to your knee plank, go ahead. Otherwise, tabletop is acceptable here, okay, for our warm-up. Warming up the chest. Pushing the ground away from you, pushing your palms into the ground. I always tell you kind of hollow out your armpits at the top You get that nice big chest squeeze at the top. And then you're gonna come laying down. Okay, you can see me. I'm gonna be a little off-centered on the camera here, but I'm gonna lay on my mat for this one. Okay, we're gonna come out. Let's get our arms out like a Y. Put your forehead on the ground. Lift your arms like a Y. Come out to a T. Lift your arms to a T. Bend your elbows, elbows back. Lift a W. So this is all shoulder and back retraction of your shoulder blades. It's a Y, T, W. Make a Y, lift. Make a T, lift. Your forehead's on the ground now that you've seen what we're doing. Make a W, lift. So nothing's moving except for those shoulder blades. All right, go ahead and push yourself up. Standing, quick, just a warm up, and let's twist. Fingers by your temples or behind your ears. Lift your heel, pivot on your toe. Remember, if you're doing the replay, you can always go back and rewind and do that YTW lift again if you didn't pick up on it, because I know I moved quickly through it. At any point today, if you need to pause, change out your weights. You know you can. You need to pause and grab some air for the next set, you know you can. That's the great thing about a pause button. Right, from here, let's do a hinge forward. So toes are forward, it's like your morning glory. 2 feet on the ground. Squeeze your hamstrings and glutes and come back on up. Fold at your hips like you're a door. Closing and opening. Closing and opening. Proud chest, flat back. Those shoulder blades retracted back, right? We talked about that. Hinge forward. This is our last part of our warm-up. And then we're headed right into, like I said, shoulder presses today. Our first 3 moves are shoulder presses, bent over rows, and squats. We will go through each of those exercises for 50 seconds. Release your arms. 10-second transition or break in between to change out our weights. And then we're going to repeat those 3 moves. We're going 3 sets of everything, okay? So first move, shoulder presses. I'm going to lighten up for 50 seconds on a shoulder press. So go ahead and grab your weights. Shoulder presses first, bent over row is second, squats is third, okay? Shoulder press, arms are out like goalposts. You're gonna hold the tension right here. Ready, set, begin. You're gonna press overhead so your biceps are parallel to your ears. With your peripheral vision, you're gonna see your weights just ahead of your forehead, okay? So a little eye gaze up. You should be able to see your weights right ahead of you, okay? So they're slightly in front. A mistake people make is coming straight up or behind. That's too far. You're pushing slightly ahead of you, okay? See the difference? And you're just repping out, 1 rep at a time. The shoulders should be feeling this by now if you pick the correct weight. 4, 3, 2, release. We've got 10 seconds to grab a new weight or stick with that weight, and we're going into bent over row, squeezing your shoulder blades together, palms facing in, little bend at the knees, big bend at the hips, chest to the ground, row, pull, squeeze. Row, pull, squeeze. Elbows, hike up close to your rib cage or just above it. And I want you to think about taking your weights to your pockets. Okay, so let's talk about this. Weights to your pockets, so you're drawing your elbows to the back wall. Some people like to come up right here. We're not pulling straight up into our rib cage. I want you to actually pull back and tuck your weights into your pockets. Squeeze your shoulder blades together at the top. Your back is doing the work here. And pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Pull, squeeze. Pull, squeeze. Okay, go ahead and pause, 10 seconds, switch out your weights if you need to. We're going into squats. Regular squats, nothing fancy, toes are forward, tailbone's back. On repeat, ready, set, go. Sink back with your butt, push in your heels and drive yourself to stand. Can you even out your feet? the weight between your legs. I have a tendency to roll towards my outer toes and kind of roll out with my legs. Something I'm working on is trying to keep my weight even between my feet, the inner and outer parts. Push your heels into the ground. You hear me say that all the time. Squeeze your legs and your glutes all the way up. Core is tight, chest is lifted. You're moving at your own pace here, and you should have picked a good weight so that your legs are starting to fatigue just a little bit now. All right, pause for 30 seconds. We're gonna do the whole set again. So think about the weights you just used. Do they feel good? Can you increase them? Do you need to go down in weight? Are you good? Okay, so this is your assessment of yourself right now. That was your first set. Maybe you went a little bit lighter. Now's the time to increase your weights and push for the next set. You've got 10 seconds and we go back to shoulder press. In 5, 4, rack your weights, 3, 2, 1. So slight bend in the legs. Some people take a staggered stance to make sure that you're not arching your back. Tilt your pelvic towards your chin. Keep your abdominals contracted and holding yourself upright. So every exercise that we do today involves holding your core tight. There is not one single exercise where we don't have our core engaged. I know a lot of lifters that do barely any core work because they're really good at keeping their core tight and engaged during lifts. Okay? So remember that as you're doing your work. Core is always working. Got 4, 3, 2, 1. Was that a good weight? Are you feeling fatigued on the tops of your shoulders? Was it like, okay, I can just do a couple more and I'm done? Bent over, row. Pull the weights to your pockets. Hike your elbows up like cricket wings. Make sure that your neck is neutral. You're not pecking with your neck. No neck and pecking. Squeeze at the top. Squeeze, hold. Squeeze, hold. So you know right now you're getting a lot of repetitions in. Okay? Your core is tight again. Squeezing, pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. That's where the focus is. Squeeze, lift. You're using your back muscles, your wings. We will do more back exercises. All right, go ahead. Be tight. All right, next up, squats. Go. Sorry about that. Text came in. Sink down and back. Drive up. Still getting text. Toes are forward, drive through your legs, core is tight, shoulders are down and away from your ears. Try not to let those weights make your shoulders creep up like this. You want to be relaxed in our shoulders. Weights hang down right next to us, away from our bodies. We're breathing. Drive through your legs. Make sure it's your legs working, not your back. Your core is tight. We rest again for 30. And then back at it again. Whew. Okay. We're going back to shoulder presses. Ready? I'm going to go a little bit heavier in this last set. 3, 2, 1. Did you make your adjustments? Think about your good form and core tight. Tilt your pelvic towards your chin just a little bit, so tuck your tailbone under, making sure you're not arching your back or using your back in the lift. Okay, stagger your stance if you need to. That helps make sure we're not putting any pressure on our lower back, and everything's happening in our shoulders. So a fun thing to do, we're not doing it today, is to sit on the ground or to go to a kneeling position and press, shoulder press. Wow, you feel right away like, oh my gosh, when I'm standing, I really do use my full body and my core, because as soon as you hit the ground and you're sitting and doing this, or kneeling and doing this, it makes such a difference. Okay, bent over rows are next, and then we'll head into squats. This is our third set, so this is done, and then after this, and then we're going to move on to new moves, okay? So bend at the waist, little bend at the knees, hike up your weight, squeeze, bent over row, squeeze, okay? We have one more move here, squats, after this, okay? Then we do another standing set series. Then we're gonna do one set of ground work, okay? And that's class. So let's keep moving. Let's keep challenging ourselves. Some good weights here. So I'm very happy I went up in weights in this last set. It's working better. So I want you to think about that. Did you increase your weights by this last set? Did you increase them on your second set? And if you kind of took it easy on this first one, when we head into our next one, you got a chance to do it all over again, okay? Let's go ahead and squat. In 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Make sure that you're breathing. Driving through your legs. Check your toes. Are they facing forward? Are they about hip width, maybe a little bit wider? You can adjust your stance, your feet, for the length of your legs and for your own hip mobility. Now, yesterday we opened up our hips. We should be able to squat really well today. Everything should be functioning well because we loosened up joints. And time. All right, so we take a little rest, and our next set of moves are bicep curls. Let's go full curl, palms to me, okay? And then we're gonna do bent over tricep extensions, and then we're gonna do alternating curtsies, okay? So that's our next set of movement. We do get a minute here to breathe and adjust weights. So as I tell you what we're doing next, think about that. Full curl. What weight are you going to use? It's a lot of bicep curls. It's a lot of bicep curls. And we're going to do tricep kickbacks. So again, it'll be a lot of reps. And then alternating curtsies. Okay, what weights are you going to use? Think about it. Plan for it. We are starting in 10 seconds. Get yourself ready. Remember, you can stagger your stance with bicep curls too, and begin. Curl and lower. Control it. Elbows tucked in to your side. If at any point you're like, oh, you need to switch out your weight, heavier or lighter, you have permission to do that in the middle of your set. Okay, don't feel like you're stuck with what you picked. What you chose. You can switch if you need to. You've got 10 seconds left here. How are those biceps? Good? Awesome. So right about now, you should be pretty fatigued and saying, okay, that was my last rep. Heading into tricep kickbacks. Sticking with the same weight, maybe one increment heavier or lighter. Hike them up, kick them back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So we've got our shoulders out of our ears. Long neutral neck. So if you feel like your shoulders are up here, I want you to reset yourself. Do it all over again. Hike up, kick back. Long neutral neck. You're bent at the waist, chest is forward. Take your weights back. Squeeze your triceps. You've got 10 more seconds here. and time. All right, so now we're moving on to our lower body, curtsies, alternating side to side. We're gonna step up. So ready, set, go. Take your one leg back, step up into your standing front leg, switch and do the other side. I want you to push your heel into the ground as you step up. That will help you activate your hamstring and your glute. Biggest thing here, keep your chest lifted. If you had something on your shirt, I want to read it. So keep yourself tall and upright, almost like a string is pulling you to the ceiling. Down and back, stand tall and upright, down and back, tall and upright. You're pacing yourself, fast or slow, you choose. This is my pace. You're welcome to go faster or slower than I am. It's your rep count here, not mine. So keep moving. Keep going. You got 5 seconds. And time. Take 30 seconds to release your weights. Give your forearms a little break. Grab water if you need to. Grab air. Keep walking. Keep moving a little bit. And we're going to repeat this set 2 more times. So we're back to bicep curls. Okay? If you feel like your heart is elevated, it should be. Lifting weights will do that. And as we go through this next set of work, remember, you choose what weights to use, increase or decrease. Ready, set, bicep curls, go. Elbows pinned in tight to your body, and you're curling. A whiny dog upstairs. Son's yelling at him, I don't know if you heard that. Just let him outside, bud. That's all he wants. He wants to go outside and play. So key thing here is to not swing or sway your body or your arms. We're curling, and we're using our biceps right here to do the pull or the lift. So check your elbows and make sure that they're tucked in tight. 5 seconds left. Release. Either stick with that same weight or switch it out. We've got our tricep kickbacks. If you're having any trouble bending over with your tricep kickbacks, you can always just do one arm at a time. Maybe about split the time in half here. But I think everybody should be okay. Just know if you ever have any issue with your back or anything like that, you can always go one arm at a time and then switch into the other arm. And you would just lean over on something and kick back like this. When I have my back issues, I always make sure that I separate my moves so that I'm just doing what you would call a unilateral, singular movement, one arm at a time. But nobody's told me about back issues, so hopefully everybody's fine. Let's just kick them back. Let's just kick them back. Keep your body safe, keep your core tight, and you won't have to worry about it. All right, switching out if you need to, your weights for curtsy lunges. Remember, it's just like a bowler's lunge, like we do in Soul Fusion. Just taking a little bowl back, step up in your front leg. Back leg's there for balance. So, step up in your front leg each time. Chest is proud, posture's tall. You're bending at your knee. Pushing your heel into the ground. Your front toe is forward. You're breathing. This is where my heart rate picks up just a little bit. And remember, lower body, your muscles, heart rate should pick up. You're not launching off your back foot, you're stepping up into your front foot. I caught myself trying to launch. Step up in your front heel. It's easy to forget what you're doing for a second, and then your form gets mixed up. Pause. Let's try not to do that, okay? All right, one more set of this, and then we're hitting the floor. We're back to bicep curls. Walk. Talk to me. Breathe. Grab a little bit of water, and let's do it all over again. We've got 10 seconds, and we're back to bicep curls. All right. I'm going to go back to my heavier set, and this one. Ready, set, begin curls. Control it. Core tight. Staggered stance or slight bend in your knees. Tuck your tailbone under. Tilt your hips towards your chin just a little bit. So you've got your core engaged. Breathe. How are we doing? Good? Feeling like we're working all the body parts. So we did shoulders, back, biceps, triceps, legs. We're going to do more chest, back when we hit the floor. We didn't hit chest yet, so we're going to do chest. Those push-ups in the warm-up didn't count as chest. 5 seconds. All right, tricep kickbacks are next. So adjust your weights as needed. We're doing tricep kickbacks. Right now, begin, and then we'll do our curtsies, and then we'll come down to the floor. When we come down to the floor, we're going to do chest fly, pull over, and bridges. And that is our lifting class today. So kick back, squeeze, kick back, squeeze. Remember, your elbows are hiked up above your rib cage, and you have a long neutral neck. So no peck in your necks here either, okay? Try not to swing or sway your body. Try to keep yourself steady, stable. Did you impress yourself with the amount of weight you used today on each of your exercises? Did you push yourself with your heavier weights? And I told you go moderate. I know I said that. But did you find the top range of your moderate set? All right, back to curtsies. We go in 3, 2, 1. If you're struggling with balance on curtsies, you can always do this with no weights. I do have clients that sometimes have to take the weights away just for balance sake. Your own body weight is a good amount of weight for leg work, especially if something curtsies where we just got one leg and it's balanced. If you're finding your balance is not with you today, you're welcome to decrease your weight or lose the weight and just use your arms for balance. Otherwise, your weight straight down, bring your leg, your curtsy, and pause. Okay, like I said, we're coming down to the floor, so if you would like to take out your mat, you're welcome to. If you don't want to use a mat, that's fine too. We're coming to chest fly first, and then we're doing pullovers, and then we're doing bridges, okay? So, you have time to make your space the way you want it to be. We've got another 40 seconds here. So chest fly, we're going to take 2 weights straight over our chest, open and close. Slight bend in the elbows if you need to. And then pull over, we're going to take 2 weights, kiss them together, and do a pull over. And then bridges, you're going to put your weights on your hips, feet are close to your butt, and we're going to bridge up and work our glutes, okay? So, again, these are all things we've done before, nothing new. Bend your knees. Tilt your hips towards your chin so your lower back is on the floor as you lay down. Take your weights straight up over your chest, palms facing in, open and close chest fly. Go ahead and begin. So we're going to let our arms tap the ground. You can have a slight bend in your elbows. And I said tap or hover. Okay, I said tap. I'm going to use the word hover too. Let your arms hover or tap. They don't stay on the ground. They come right back on up. We are now pinching a pencil between our chest, okay? So if you think about a pencil sitting right in the middle of your chest, you want to squeeze your pectoral muscles and pinch the pencil there. Again, lower belly button, or pull your lower back to the floor by pulling your belly button in, tilting your hips towards your chin a little bit. Keep your lower back on the ground. We don't want that arched, okay? Hold here. We're going to kiss the weights together. Straight arms overhead. Pull over right to above your chest, okay? So we're going to lower. Don't tap the ground, hover, and come back. Shoulders stay out of your ears. So if your shoulders are creeping in your ears, it means your weight's too heavy. Maybe just take one weight and do this. All right? So pull over. We're using our back muscles. Arms are straight. You heard me. Get the bend out of your elbows. Reach overhead, pull straight over your chest. Your lower back is still on the ground, so what's going to happen is your back's going to want to arch. Draw your belly button in, tilt your hips up just a little bit, and that'll get your lower back on the floor. We have our core engaged as we're using our lats. And all those muscles, go ahead and stop that run down the side of our rib cage, okay? Weights can come on your hips. Walk your feet close to your butt, toes are forward, hips, knees, toes are parallel in a straight line. Push your heels in the ground, bridge up, lower down. Don't tap your butt on the ground. We're gonna leave some space. You can slide a credit card between your butt and the floor, okay? So hover, press, squeeze your butt, lower, squeeze, lift, lower, squeeze, lift, lower. Now, you usually can use a pretty heavy amount of weight on these bridges. I don't know what you grabbed, but if you have something heavier nearby when we do this again, I'd love to see you go heavier on this part right here. We're going to repeat this set again. Take 30 seconds to rest. Adjust any weights as needed. We're going back to chest fly. This is the part where you're kind of like, you like to lay down for a little bit, right? But chest fly, remember your chest is strong. You do push-ups, you push your own body weight, so you can do something pretty heavy here, okay? So chest fly is next. If you need to increase your weight, please do. We're gonna go ahead and push our weight straight up over our chest, get ourselves ready. Lower back to the ground. Remember, draw your belly button in, tilt your hips. Ready, set to begin. Hover or tap your arms, come right back to center. Your fists should be in line with the midline of your chest, okay? So we don't want our weights over our chin. We don't want them over our belly buttons. We're really staying right in the center, in line with where pretty much your shoulders are, just a little bit lower maybe than your shoulders. That's the midline of your chest, okay? Inhale on the way out, exhale on the way up. That's how we breathe when we're lifting, okay? Be mindful of that. Your breathing should be okay. We're laying on the ground, so, you know, it always helps. Okay, pullovers are next, so just pause for a second. In 5, 4, 3, 2, pull over. Straight arms, no bend in the elbow. Neutral spine. So your neck is neutral on the floor. And you've got your hips tilted, so your lower back is on the ground, and that helps you engage your core, your abdominal muscles, so that as you lift and pull over, you have them engaged. You should be feeling this in your abs just a little bit, and you should be feeling this through your back muscles a whole lot, okay? Extend, pull over, arms straight. Breathing. All right, go ahead and release. If you have a heavier set of weights nearby, place them on your hips. Push your heels into the ground. And let's bridge up and lift, squeeze. Ready, set, go. Lift, squeeze, lower. Hover your butt, lift, squeeze, lower. So I want you to think about your cheeks, your butt cheeks. That's what you're squeezing. Lift, squeeze, lower. Lift, squeeze, lower. Lift, squeeze, lower. You got the tempo, the pace here. I'm going to ask you to kind of do that lift and squeeze instead of just repping it out. I want a little micro hold at the top here, squeezing your cheeks, activating your glutes, making sure that they're awake. You don't want glute amnesia. Sometimes we sit on them so long that we forget how to work them. Let's work them. 5, 4, 3, 2. We have one more set of work to go, so we have 30 seconds to break and breathe. Then we've got chest fly. So this is your last set. Do you need to change your weights, or are you good? Right? Just gonna lay here and chill out.
If you're good, if you've got the weights that you need, you're just gonna hang tight here. We're gonna go through it again. This is our last set of work, last 3 moves, and then we'll stretch out a little bit. So if you use the right weights, let's go ahead and chest fly right now. If you use the correct amount of weight, you should be tired. If you went light, you're not gonna be very tired. You're gonna feel like nice and loose, but I want your muscles to feel fatigued. So if you have something heavier and you need to adjust, do it. You're breathing, exhaling on the lift. Inhaling as your chest opens. That's pretty easy to remember. Open up your chest as your lungs, open up your lungs as your chest opens up, and then exhale on the lift. All right, pause here. We'll get ready for our pullovers. Again, adjust your weights as needed. We go in 5, 4, 3, 2, core tight. Lower back to the ground. If you have an arch in your lower back, it's just a little bit of a sway back. All of our bodies are different. Some of us have a rounded out lower back, some of us have that sway back. Just depends on how tight our muscles are, really. So hopefully your back's pretty neutral after our mind class yesterday and we did all that back mobility. Remember, we stretched our backs. If you didn't get to do it yet, it's a great class. Do it. All right, bridges are next. So grab your heavy weights, walk your heels towards your butt, toes forward. Like I said, your hips, your knees, your shins, your toes all in alignment, and then lift, squeeze, lower. Lift, squeeze your cheeks, and lower. So the reason why I tell you to keep your hips, knees, and toes all in a line is because it's really easy to knob out your knees and go wide, and then we kind of lose the focus on the medial part of our glutes, okay? So we want to really get into our glute muscles here, push the floor away with our heels, and keep everything parallel. If you have a core ball, you can always stick the core ball between your thighs, and that really helps you focus on that, keeping your legs parallel. You gotta squeeze the ball, so if you knob out, you'll lose it. So it really helps you recognize if you have a little bit of a turnout. All right, lower on down. You did it. You made it. That's the end of lift class. So how did you do? Did you challenge yourself? Do you feel like you've fatigued your body? We did a lot of upper body, a little bit of lower body, but we worked everything today. So let's go ahead and reach forward. Let's go both legs. Reaching forward. If you hear the beeps in the timer, just ignore those. Let's take a little figure 4 here. Open up your hips, so ignore those beeps. Let's switch and do the other side. This class is available to you whenever. It's a great full body lifting class, so if you would like to come back to it anytime, you're welcome to, okay? Let's go ahead and open up our chest, roll your shoulders down and back. And then open up your shoulder blades. Side to side. And then drop your arm. Give yourself a little bit of hug. Drop your shoulder. Still ignore those beeps. Switch into the other side. Drop your shoulder down. There you go. Hug that arm. You can pat yourself on the back. Oh yeah, those triceps, they're gonna feel that tomorrow. And switch and do the other side. Pat yourself on the back. And release. Stretch out anything else that you think you need to today. You did an awesome job. Thank you for joining me. I will see you back here. Today is Wednesday. See you back here Friday for kickboxing class, okay? That will be at 8:30. No, wait, hold on.
be on the schedule. It's coming up right now. Bye, guys.